Alright, this video is to cover my method for doing low Kerbin orbit intercepts. This is the rocket that I've been using to do them for quite a while. It is based off of a design by Scott Manley, but I beefed up some of the engines to increase the amount of delta V I would have to make up for the fact that I am not anywhere near as good of a pilot. Now, one thing that it's important to do is to always make sure that the Mark 1 command pod is empty if you're using it for a rescue mission. The ship is actually piloted by this Providyne Octo at the top. The Providyne Octo, parachute, command pod, and a blader are the final stage. Everything else is going to be left behind. Inside this bay are some batteries, solid rockets, etc. From the launch pad, go to the map and select the nearer of the two space derelicts. And now I'm going to speed up time until it gets to about 75 degrees behind where my launch pad is. I'd say that's good enough. I'm going to quick save so I don't have to do the map part again. Set my throttle down because I don't really need the extra throttle while the solid boosters are on. I'm going to throttle up right before the solid boosters run out of fuel. Now, as you can see, the liquid engine is on. It's mostly there for the gimbaling to help with stability. Later, obviously, it'll be providing the main boost. While the solids are on, it's not super stable, so I stick with going straight up. I've activated the liquid all the way, detached those through staging, and now I'm just immediately going to tilt over to 45 degrees, doing my best to overcome its tendency to wiggle. Now I pop out to the map. I like to adjust my nodes as I go up a little bit. I do it by trial and error because I haven't figured out how to just look and see. Overshot it there. Now, yeah. I can tilt over a little more because I'm over a minute away from my apoapsis. And at this point, I can be all the way on my side. I don't really want my apoapsis to get higher than the average between the periaps and apoaps of my target. So I'm gonna stop this if my ship's apoaps gets up to 85, maybe a little under it. I'm pretty far ahead on this one, so I'm gonna kill some time while I wait. Check on the status of this booster. It's almost empty, so when I start boosting again, I'm going to need to switch back to stage it out. I'm not very patient, so I make extensive use of warping. Although the fact that I'm still in physics, warp is annoying. Okay, I'm out of physics warp. At this point, I'm considering burning soon just because I'm going to hit my apoapse. I'm out of fuel down to the last stage, which maneuvers very well. At some point in all this, my nodes got a little high at 0.6, but that's fine. It'll self-correct if you're following the target speed thingies, retrograde marker. Because I'm so far ahead, it's actually okay if my orbit ends up bigger than his, because of the bigger orbit, he will be catching up on me. And now I seem to be getting some intersects moving together. Let's watch that carefully as it slides around. I overshot that, so I'm going to flip back around. That's why I include the extra delta V. Go at 10%. Okay, so 1 or 1.1 is as close as I'm going to get from here. So, time warp. Now, as we can see here, the relative speed at intersect is going to be pretty high, but the closer I get into it, the less thrusting is going to change our intersect distance, where it's just going to move the intersect further away from us while reducing the relative speed when it happens. And that's just because we're already pretty close in. It gets a little more separated, that's fine. As long as you're within about 2 kilometers at the intersect, it's easy to correct once you get down to very low speeds. Now the relative speed's down to like 71. This ship's going to kill that in very little time. Let's speed up. Make sure I'm retrograde to the target again. Keep with that retrograde because I'm not dead center on it, so it keeps moving around. Now that we're at a relative stop, just got to find the big pink circle. And we can do the rest of this outside of map mode, because we don't need to watch nodes. Don't want to get too much speed. You want to be able to come out of the speed fairly quickly once you get in close, otherwise you'll just repeatedly overshoot. Still overshot a little bit, but it's fine. It's close enough for government work. Now you want to get your speed as close to 0 as possible so that the Kerbal's not making up for your mistakes on the EVA. Use the bracket to change ships. Oh, this was on a science machine. Anyway, let's let go. Turn on personal RCS. There's the ship. Whoops. Ah, good. And here's the door. Grab board. Now we're on. And all that's left to do is a normal landing, which I will not bother to record.